Welcome to the Secretary Cottage. This is our home on the eastern shore of Maryland, and the house is over a century years old, and you can tell from the video clip here that it wasn't kept in the most stellar shape before we bought it. So this video is on the bedroom and the makeover and the DIY projects that we did to create a beautiful bedroom. Now, it took a village. My mother-in-law came to help and my mom. First up was to paint, because the orange paint was literally, it was driving me crazy. So I took some plaster and I mixed it up and I tried to smooth over the walls as best I could and fill in the holes. The walls are not smooth, they're old plaster, and I'm totally fine with that. And I then primed the entire room, and this took quite a while, but then I felt like we were getting somewhere because the walls were clean and fresh. Every inch of this room has been touched in some way, so I not only painted the walls, but I also had to paint all of the trim, take the doors off, prime, and paint the doors as well. A huge challenge in this project was the ceiling. There had been a drop ceiling installed at one point, so we took that off. There's the view. Isn't it pretty? There's the river. We took off the drop ceiling, and then we used the framework underneath the drop ceiling to install Shiplap. And we bought this at the Home Improvement Center, well, Lowe's, the boards, and my husband and I, he measured and cut them to size, and using a nail gun, we applied the boards to the ceiling and love the look. Next up, after we finished the walls and the ceiling, were the floors, and they needed a ton of work. We rented a sander from our local home improvement store, and we actually used the same sander on our entire house. I'll do more videos soon and share the living room and the dining room, but this is the bedroom, and you can see how rewarding it is to take off all of those years of kind of just layers upon layers of old poly and get down to the bare wood. After the sanding was complete, I used the shop vac to clean up everywhere. My husband had to go around again and do the sides of the room with the smaller sander, and then it was time to apply the poly. I first cleaned the floors with mineral spirits before applying the poly. I realize this doesn't look too professional, but I used a large brush to apply the poly and it worked really well. It went on evenly, and the floors at the end, well, I think they look great. It was, however, pretty backbreaking work. The walls got a coat of Benjamin Moore's Whirlpool, and the ceiling was painted in ceiling white, the trim in cloud white. Speaking of trim, all of the crown molding and all of the shoe molding had to be removed when we did the ceiling and the floors. So that was painted and that was put back in place with our handy nail gun. Even the closet in this room was in terrible condition with the plaster coming off the walls and the ceiling, so I went in and spent the day cleaning the closet out, patching the plaster, and painting. Here is the bedroom today. We still need to add the vent cover to our ceiling, which we unfortunately cut a little too big, so that's turning out to be more of a project than we anticipated. We're also going to install a ceiling fan, and I'd like to clean up the old the doorknob, the brass, but I think it's pretty the way it is. The beds were ordered from Wayfair. The table in the middle, the pretty pink one, was a thrifted find that I painted. The artwork has all been sourced from thrift stores or auctions, with the exception of the beach photo that I had made. The lamps, everything is thrifted, even the sock monkeys. I bought those at an auction the other day. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please consider subscribing to my channel to view other makeovers as we complete them room by room. I'll share our dining room makeover next. See you then!